Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Manchester United Agenda. We're having some technical issues at the moment, so just bear with us. It's the 30th of December 2024, and I can't wait for this year to be over now. Joined by Yabba tonight. You watched the game?
Yeah, managed to watch most of it. Got in from work, watched most of it. I missed the first goal, obviously at half time. I saw the nightmare and how we conceded it, so I'm up to date. How you doing, bro?
To be honest, yeah, but I'm really stressed out with that performance. Like,
yeah, naturally.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's just so disheartening, and there's loads to talk about, but we'll go to the comments first.
Just quickly, I didn't see the pre-match, thing. What was your prediction for the scoreline? Because I said, we could win 1-0. Oh, you said 0-0. Okay.
Yeah, I thought we'd just
knowing that we can't score.
Yeah.
Love of money. Okay.
All right. So we got Kieran saying we're as simple as that. Got Bart saying he fully expected Newcastle to overpower Manchester United by putting in the hard yards and being physical. An Eric Dyer performance. What United player is getting in any top team in the Premier League or a joke? I'd be laughing if I weren't a United fan. Big up to Matthew Bassett. Shut up, Bart. That's ironic. United are also having technical issues. Nice. Jeff, actually, I've got a question for you, Jeff. I'm very surprised their second goal wasn't ruled out for a handball. In this bunch of players actually sat, I don't know. He's over this club, over this manager. Big up Yama. Just watch Amarin's interview, and he says that we do not have a base to play from. Guess it's too soon to judge him. And Jeff, what were you saying? Can this bunch of managers actually sack? Yeah, can this bunch of players actually sack 2 managers in one season? Records are made to be broken, my friend. Right, Yabba. I just don't know where to begin. So I'll begin with something that shocked me that I don't think I've ever seen, and maybe you can help me with this. Has a United player ever been dragged before half-time that you can recall?
Well, on the commentary, they said it's very rare that's happened. I think they were looking through the paperwork or quickly trying to Google it to find out when was the last time that happened. And there's no, it's really embarrassing as a footballer. You're a footballer. You know how it goes. If you come off, before half time, that suggests something is seriously wrong. And unless you're injured, I would have limped off if I was him, or sort of fainted on the pitch or something to suggest, when I saw my number, just gone down to suggest that it's an injury. Because to walk off like that, to get dragged off like that, is an indicator that you're going to get strung up at half time, or you're a complete waste of time at the club. And
I've
not
never
putting
seen it.
Well, you know what? Judging by his performance, get to the ball first. The ball's coming your way. Don't stand still, because these players are all hungry. Newcastle players are hungry. They're making you look bad. And all you have to do as a footballer, professional, is try hard. If you're not seen to be trying hard, a lot of fans like Paddy and things like that will have a go at you. That's what you get at Man United. If you're not putting the effort in, because traditionally we've had those sort of players, the fans will get on your back. If they see you working hard, and you can get away with it, even if you're poor. But if you don't work hard, the fans will get on your back. And I think the pressure, you could hear the fans moaning and sighing every time this young man wasn't really trying. He's even wearing gloves today, which made it even worse, I think. And you can imagine what the fans are saying down the pub right now about him personally. And that is the lowest of low, I think.
Maybe it was a diss at Rashford.
What is?
Like wearing mittens.
Did Rashford wear gloves? I thought Martial.
No, Rashford got dug out by Andy Mitten, the journalist, the other day, and that was my clever joke about gloves and mittens.
Oh, right. Okay. Good one. Good.
Thank you. I just wanted to know that I think it might have happened once at school, but I don't think I've because a bloke started like it happened in a friendly once. Yeah,
It happened.
I think
What happened? What happened to you?
someone on my team getting taken off before halftime.
Oh, right. It's never happened to you, though.
Of course not.
I'll tell you what happened to me.
No.
Did I tell you this story?
No.
I was playing in New Zealand, and I was as a defender, but I could play anywhere in the pitch. And tight game, and the manager brought me on midway through the second half and told me to go up front. And I play up front. I'm happy. I thought, yeah, this is this is good. But the other team were ball playing side, so he asked me to do the work to while they're playing it around the back to chase people down, put pressure on. And I was cutting angles. I was bending my run. I was cutting angles. But to him, I wasn't doing enough. So bringing me on midway through the first half, after about 15 minutes, dragged me off. And I was fuming.
Wow.
Because he said I wasn't working hard enough.
Did you play for him again?
Well, we fell out big time.
Yeah.
I think I played reserves a lot after that. I can't recall. No, I don't think I played for him again. We had a big bust up over that. It's disrespect, in my opinion.
I agree. Like, I mean, I know nothing about the details of the game, but you're picking a fight when you do that. So this is why it's always good to have someone to talk to who's played football. I haven't seen the quotes yet, and if someone would put them in chat for me, I'd be really, really happy. But I blame Amarin just as much as I blame Xerxes for why? Because he set the team up poorly.
I think there was a quote from Gary Neville saying he said that Amarin said Xerxes is not a number 9. He's a deeper player. He likes to play in deeper positions. Hence why I can see why he started today. Because when I heard that quote, he must have said that recently. And playing him in that position suggests that that's what he does. I saw it was Ahmad was playing in the other 10 position. He was doing enough work, tracking back and hurrying along. And that makes him look better, even worse, compared to a guy, Ahmad, who's pressing and running around and giving it his all, compared to another guy in the same position, not doing as much and getting pinched.
Well, I think
looking lazy.
Like, I'm not going to defend Xerxes here because he was poor and he was like completely disconnected from the team. Like he was dreadful, but I felt the substitution was probably more that the blend in the midfield of Casemiro and Eriksen was just appalling, and that it needed to be changed. Because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, just play a 1-2 or something." You don't get 1-2s in the midfield anymore in football until this evening when I saw Joel Linton play one past Eriksen. Yeah. That's the first time I've seen that for years. Because it's just players are too strong and fast to do it. And I felt that Xerxes got hooked because he was the worst player and we needed to change it. And I'm really interested how this is going to play out, because if someone did that to me, I'd never play for them again.
But it depends on what's said to Xerxes by the manager. Right. For starters, Xerxes is going to be vexed, isn't he? It's embarrassing, shameful. And it's going to blow his confidence. So whatever's said, the manager might say it was a tactical thing, to like you suggesting there. Just run it by me again. I'm still, because who came on for Xerxes to convince me of your tactical solution?
Kobe.
What happened there? Kobe. So where did Kobe play?
He played next to Casemiro.
And then Eriksen went into Xerxes' position then.
Yeah. So I think it was that they needed a bit more legs and things around them. I mean, I can remember we played with Ten Hag. We played Potter's Chelsea. And I think after half an hour, they had to make a change because the manager had got it wrong.
That's right. I remember this, yeah.
And I think that Jose once hooked Ndombele at Spurs, but because he was just being awful. But I just think Xerxes' career is probably over in England after tonight.
It's hard to recover from that.
Well, it's like when Stuart Marshall came on, I think, did we play Southampton away, like the second game of the season? I think Stuart was at that game. And one of my cousins, actually, for some reason, went to the game as well. And he said that the away support was disgusted with Xerxes in that match. Like, you know, he'd come on and he'd scored against Fulham or whoever it was in the first game of the season. He came on and he was dreadful in that game. And I've never seen the crowd turn on a player as quickly as Xerxes. And I do feel, I mean, he hasn't been anywhere near good enough, but I do feel a bit bad for him because that is, you know, you want like a Makeda moment, like, you know, a player that never quite lived up to what you were hoping for, but they have that moment to look on. Xerxes' entire career is very likely to be getting pulled off after 25 minutes, at 30 minutes at Newcastle.
Do you think, like me, like the story I told, I felt that I was doing the work, what was required.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to be doing this donkey work. I felt I was doing it. Do you think he, how it's perceived that he's not working hard enough? Because there was times where the ball was played to him and he just stood there and he didn't come to the ball or block anyone else's run. He was getting pinched.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the pass you're talking about. It's from Casemiro and he just watched it.
Yeah, expected it just to come to him. And the Newcastle players were just busy and just pinched him. And then he came back and won the ball back, showed a bit of something there to win the ball back and get it back for them. And then we had a little nice move. But it just shows you, I don't know his personality, but to me, it suggests a lot about someone's personality when you're not.
He doesn't want to be here, Yabba.
Why are you saying that? Why do you think that?
He just, like, he's not committed on the football pitch, is he?
Doesn't show that. No, it's like he's sort of that, like you said at the start of the season, he's a guy who's never scored a header in his life, and you're thinking, well, 6'4", how can he not scored a header? But it's desire to score headers. You have to put your head in where it hurts, in the box. There was a ball that's played by Dalot into Holland earlier, and he could have, you know, got there before the defender. But you have to put your head somewhere where he could get hurt, you know. And that's probably why I don't think he scores headers, because I don't think he's brave enough. He wants to
won this season, but it was for Holland.
Yeah, exactly that. And the thing is with me, if you're saying, "Oh, I'm not a number 9, I'm a 9.5," already that suggests to me you got issues because you want to be. Everyone wants to be a number 10. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everyone wants to be that luxury player, and I think he thinks I've got enough about me to be that luxury player. I'm just going to sit here, spread passes. There's another time I got really annoyed with him, and you know me, I've been backing him, but I got really annoyed with him where the ball was over the left side of the box. We had an attack, and he just stood there. Didn't offer an overlap, didn't offer anything. And I think it was Dalot ended up spacing up against the defenders and had to turn back when he didn't offer anything. And I'm thinking, what? Do something. You know, make a run, drag someone away, do something. But he stood there and I thought, nah, that's not acceptable. So for me, it's an attitude issue with this guy. And however he's perceived, he needs to take a long, hard look at himself. And I think it's good by the manager to do that because he can't defend that. And the manager will get the backing of the fans for what he did today. Because he can feel around the stadium that the fans were disappointed. I'm sitting at home, you're sitting at home, disappointed with him. So to do that, I think that's a good move by the manager because at least the fans will say, "Well done."
Yeah, he's got bollocks, Amrin. I'll give him I'll give him that. Like not having Rashford in the squad for 4 games, not playing him this evening, dragging a player off after half an hour. Like he's got big balls. But speaking of big balls, should we talk to the comments?
Yeah.
All right. Start with better. He said Højlund wasn't any better. I disagree, to be honest. I thought Højlund was okay. Jeff is saying that Fergie did it several times. I can't recall that happening. Xerxes should be sent back to Italy. He clearly doesn't want to be there. I don't blame the fans at Old Trafford for cheering either. Tyrone, you dug me out at half-time where I said that I thought that United need more players like Harry Maguire. Did you see anything in the second half that might have changed your mind on that? Andrew's put his player ratings in. I'll show him, but we'll do, might do them later.
I went straight for Xerxes.
Yeah. Just looking at them there. Okay. I suppose I'd agree with the majority of them. Amrin was mental for not starting Mainu. We looked better when he came on. Yeah, I think he got it wrong. Xerxes can't be upset tonight. Deep down, he knows how bad he was, but he wasn't the only one. He was the only one that was publicly humiliated, though. Rasmus was utterly useless tonight. sounds a bit harsh to me. I'm not saying he played well, but I thought he did okay. Right, I don't understand a lot of this, but I got dug off, put on the bench for the rest of the match one time in high school. I followed, threatened to beat my ass, but I pulled that crap again. Never happen again. Well, I'm pleased that you're learning lucky Singlish as well, Jeff. Yabba knows football, but he was wrong about Xerxes. Glad to see the penny has dropped.
True.
Bar, a good question. What does United really expect from Xerxes? I think for me, there's two big issues with the Xerxes signing. The first one, Yabba alluded to it, is that everyone got annoyed with me when I said that I was disgusted by Xerxes' quotes about I'm not a goal scorer and I'm a 9.5 and all this sort of stuff. I don't care what you are, score goals. But also, he's so different from Rasmus Højlund. I think that you need one type of striker at your club, essentially. Having two that are too different means you have to play two different systems. You have to have two different game models. It seemed a terrible signing to me. But we'll see. Xerxes walks around the pitch like he's Berber. Good riddance if he leaves in January. United fans moaning about that decision from Amarin are pathetic. He's such a drama queen. Mourinho did it a lot at Chelsea in his first spell. Did he? I know he didn't play Joe Cole a lot at the start.
Yeah, I was about to say Joe Cole. Yeah.
But I think Joe Cole came in. Didn't Joe Cole get a lot of games throughout, towards the back end of the season? I don't know who he pulled off.
If a manager was to make a point, there's always one player that's going to be that sucker, that guy who's always going to get dragged. There's always that one guy that he can get away with it. And I think whether it's Joe Cole back then because he's young or whatever, or whether it's Xerxes at the moment, he can get away with doing that. Donny van der Beek, someone he can get away with dragging off and getting away with it.
Yeah. Well, we got Andrew saying he did it to Cole twice. He did it to Jose Boswinger. I think he was like a right wing back or something.
Yeah.
Winston Bogard, really?
He was. That was a long time before. Really.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Darius, you were disgusted by me when I had reservations about him. I'll get you the quote. Yeah, get me the quotes that I sent you, Andrew, because they're all correct. Andrew is right. I'm seeing people on Twitter criticising their fellow United fans for cheering. Hard-working people getting fleeced by Ratcliffe. The woke world really winds me up at times. Having an opinion is incredibly woke. I agree. I think that the thing is that what I'm a little bit worried about with Xerxes and with Rashford is I don't like us damaging the price of our assets, of people that we can sell and things when we're desperately in need of money. It's like putting your car up for sale and not cleaning it.
I hear what you're saying there, Barton, but I do think his stock is pretty high in Italy. As soon as he came, Juve, for example, were like, look, if it doesn't work out, we're taking. I think they know they can get something out of him because he's been in Italy. He's been based out there. They must know about his personality and thing, and must know how to make him tick. Coming to a cold England where he looks like he's just coming off a beach and should be wearing flip-flops or whatever. I can imagine he walks around. What do you call those sliders? Yeah, I reckon you saw one of these guys who turns up training sliders out of his car. Just comes along. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm just cool. Oh, he's so laid back. He's so cool. But you can't be like that at Manchester United. But his stock, I think his stock's still higher in Italy. And if he does go, it will probably be to an Italian club because he was the opposition playing for Bologna. Was it Bologna last season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a threat. He was a golden boy. He was doing good things out there. Hence why we signed him. So I think he could get a move back home, back to Italy.
A bit like Sancho. Maybe. I mean, I suppose my issue is that I always liked Diego Forlan. I know he obviously only really performed that one match against Liverpool, but as a player, he went on to have a great career. And players like Forlan and Veron and so on, they had some real bastards to get out of the team in order to play. Like, you know, they were up against Scholes and Keane and like Van Nistelrooy and Ollie and things like that. Like, you know, basically like club legends. But you never like really questioned their work rate or their desire and stuff. I feel that like maybe not Veron, but I feel that like Forlan was unlucky, as it were. Like he never really got the bounce of the ball and stuff and things like that. I look at Xerxes and he's got every opportunity in the world. Like he's got Rasmus Højlund in front of him. Like Bruno Fernandes, regardless of what you say, does make quite a lot of chances and stuff. Like there's no one there that is good enough to really keep him out of the team. Like on you know, even half the level of Ruud or like a quarter of the level of Ollie. And I get the impression that this is a bit like Alexis Sanchez. He doesn't want to be at the football club. Like, I wonder if maybe he did actually want to go to Milan and like his agent turned it down and things like that. But it's not looking like a good move. We've got Johnny Hill in the chat who's saying fans treating Xerxes like that in the stadium, but not a peep from them when it comes to Højlund and Martinez. It's clear to see what's happening. Racism. They're suggesting it's racist, I think. I mean, I actually severely dislike Argentinians. I always have to. I always will do. They're very annoying people. But I don't think there's been an Argentine that I've disliked more than Lisandro Martinez. We'll just finish the comments and then we'll get on to that little gopher just wandering about. Shout out to my man Lucky Singh. There are some fans. They're the same fans that were hating on Mino on Twitter whilst they sing Viva Garnacho. We all know what they are. I just say they're racist, Johnny, if you'd like. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Realistically, who can we sign if I were a player to stay far away from us? Love Forlan, yes, Mr. POTUS. Big up UK strains. Manchester United are going down. We deserve better's going to bed. He's saving all his oxygen for himself. And I quite like Lucky. I mean, Lucky, you're so funny, man. You're calling it UK streams. Yeah, UK streams. Right. Let's talk about Captain Fantastic, Lisandro Martinez. I've always been his number one hater. He had a couple of good months at the club. He is a sensational ball player. Like he's as a centre back, he really is quality on the ball. We saw him doing a lot of good passes this evening. He put Rasmus through a couple of times. But I want to know, Yabba, when I watched the first goal, I could not believe what I was seeing from him.
He'd be great. I think he'd be good at vets football right now. If he could just change his birth certificate and say he's like 10 years older, he could qualify for vets football and he could stroll out there and do what he does really well, which is stroll and pass the ball about and, you know, play at that sort of level. This is too much for him. I mean, once again, where was he for the first goal? I don't blame Harry Maguire at all. I think you should squeeze in, tuck in, and get ball side of the guy. You don't let the guy have a gap like that to just, you know, feast himself on the goal. It's ridiculous. Not even a challenge. The wrong side and staring at the guy while he scores. Bottom line is you got to put yourself in a position where even if you're not like ball side, you're level with him. So if the bit does come, you can get in front or at least put a bit of pressure, lean on him or something to stop him having a free flipping header. You know, I mean, God damn it, Jesus Christ! It's the basics. If you haven't played in a free or even if you're playing a two, you got to close that gap. The ball's over the other side. Harry Maguire and DIDNT are watching. All right, trying to say, right, can we intercept this ball? If the ball gets played in an area, you know, and they're not picking up, you as the last man should be saying, right, there's my guy. He's becomes my responsibility as soon as he drifts away, and I'm going to get in front of him to stop him from doing anything. So I have a level where you can get a little wrestling, or you get in front of him. You know, I wouldn't say get in front of him, because say the ball goes over you, then you're blind as well. But get level so you can at least feel the man and see where the ball's coming from. He was missing completely, not even a touch on the man or a feel, nothing like that at all. And he's just standing there watching. I've seen it so many times. I repeat, goals are going in, and you see Martinez looking like a bit stupid a lot of the time, staring blankly, thinking, what the hell went happen here? And everyone looking at him and just cutting their eyes. It's, to me, that's his error. I know people might pick out other things, but as I've played defence a long time now, and I think Harry Maguire done the right thing. I think DIDNT done the right thing. The ball's coming over. You want to be watching the ball so you can try and head it away or clear it. If it's a great ball like it was and it goes past you, you want, you know, the guy that's free, one man, you know, to be picked up by a guy behind you. Maguire knows Martinez should be there or thereabouts to challenge at least. And that, to me, that's all Martinez. It's slack, it's lazy, and he's, I mean, what's that James Brown tune? Like a blunt knife, you just ain't cutting. You're just talking loud and saying nothing. Okay.
Right. First of all, V and Andrew, can you behave, please?
What they do? I can't see a thing.
You can't see it. V is accusing Andrew of racism or something. Like, I mean, you couldn't make it up. Because Andrew was laughing at Lucky Singh saying UK streams, which is one of the funniest things I think I've seen on this channel. UK streams. But you've just got, please, just engage what is between your ears. I don't know what to say to you. But Andrew's then going in on you, Yabba. Hang on, where is it? No fault for Maguire on the first goal. Where was Maguire? I'm going to back Yabba up on this. I thought Maguire's position was very, very good on the, well, not very good, but was decent on the first goal. It was a deflected cross. He was in exactly the right zone where I'd expect him to be from. He's like looking out. He's looking after the area. Like I don't see any problem with it, because it goes over his head. All right, it's a bit lucky in terms of the delivery, because it takes a little flick. But for me, it's all on Martinez, because when you watch it, Andrew, right? Look at the way Maguire is addressing the cross. Eyes on the ball, he's in a position to clear it, and so on. When you look at Martinez, he doesn't know where his man is. He's not looking at the ball. He's looking around. The guy's ran the blind side. He hasn't put an arm out. He hasn't done anything to impede the player. He's given him a free run, and it's appalling box defending. Now, maybe when I look at like Maguire again, I'll see something that's wrong, you know, like something that could be done better. But I can tell you that I look at Martinez, and he's not a professional footballer in that situation. Like it's absolutely unacceptable. Like what he's doing, and then like Andrew's saying, Isaac is Maguire's man. Depends, Andrew, if you think that centre backs man mark, or if they go zonal or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
can I address this, please?
Well, just tell him to go and play football, I think is the answer, isn't it? Go play centre back for a couple of weeks.
I mean, come on, man. What do you think Maguire's supposed to follow him to the toilets and all that kind of thing? It's not like that. You say mark your man and take him everywhere. If he goes for a shit, you follow him there. And that's old man talk. In situations like that, you rotate the player. You know, Maguire's got a job to do. He's focusing on his job. You know, he can't do both. Focus on his man and the ball coming in. He's the best header of the ball. He's decided. You know, it's like a free man to head the ball away. And unfortunately, the ball didn't go his way. But he expects the spare man to be picked up. That's communication, and you pass people off. So I don't know what it is. There's an agenda against Maguire or something to pick him out, say it's his fault somehow. Do you think Maguire would if Maguire was on the back post, do you think he'd be in the right position? Do you think he'd let this guy go? I don't think so. We've pointed out in very bullet point details why Martinez didn't even challenge the guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everyone else was doing what they were supposed to do. Martinez didn't even challenge the guy, wasn't ready, wasn't positioned correctly, and that's why he looks exposed. And that's why in all data analysis of whatever you do after the game, what Man United do, they will say to Martinez, where should you have been? In situations like that, you say, where should I be? And I'm looking at Maguire, I'm saying, okay, you're in the right place, you're watching, you're seeing everything. The other guy, where should you be? Could I be anywhere else? You know, I think when I look at it, from what I've seen, Martinez, if I ask him the question, where should you be? Martinez is the one who's going to get pulled up.
Yeah, as I say, like, maybe when I watch it again, I'll see something that Maguire could have done better. But for me, he's not in a poor position. He's actually pretty much where I would expect him to be. Andrew is, I don't want to give Andrew too much attention, but he's in the team to, like, head crosses and things. I think Maguire did that all day long. I think he was one of the only players that was decent tonight. And the thing is that you can't be everywhere at once. Maybe you could make a very silly argument, I suppose, that because Maguire knows that Martinez can't head a ball, he should leave that space at the near post. But you can't leave that space alone. Like, you just can't do that, I don't think. V is going on about Maguire is shite. I mean, okay. And Retro is saying, should Maguire not look over his shoulder and see both the dwarf and Isaac?
Can I?
Yeah.
Right. So the ball's over on the left-hand side, about to get crossed in. You're looking at the ball so you can time it to things. So you could say maybe he should be side on. From what I saw, Maguire was watching with DIDNT. They're watching for the ball to come over so they can clear it. So if you're side on, that way you can actually see where the player is.
Yeah.
A lot of these good strikers go on your blind side, and I think that's what he done. He peeled off onto Maguire's blind side. Ball's coming over. We've caught a glimpse. He's had it, watching the ball to see if he can get it cleared, and he's been the striker, which is good movement. Gone to best head of the ball, gone to Maguire's blind side, and camped himself on the weakest header of the ball in the box. The easy pickings against Martinez. That's what Isaac did. So you used to say, people trying to say that this is Maguire's man. There's three other guys in there. If between Maguire and Martinez, you know, what can usually happen if you try and focus on the man too much, you miss the ball. The ball's coming over. You're not in position to deal with it. You've seen it in corners where people are not even watching the ball coming over. They're hugging their man and trying to, you know, focus on stopping their man from running or that kind of thing. They're not even watching the ball. It's dangerous. First of all, they say ball watching or whatever. But you've got to do a little bit of both. And I think I don't have any issue when you've got three guys who are in the 6-yard box, three defenders, and one guy free. Between the lot of you, you got to pick him up. And I think Martinez has to be responsible. Why is it all on Maguire? Martinez has to be responsible to do that, do his job and pick up the guy who's gone spare. And don't, it's like, you know, you're saying, oh, I'm going to leave that to Maguire. That's Maguire's man. That kind of conversation would be rejected. You know this by half time. If you tried to say that at half time or whatever, or say, oh, it's not my man, it wasn't my man, or something like that. That's what you do in amateur football, or that's what you do as kids football, and to put responsibility on someone else. You cannot say that. You cannot afford to say that. It's a unit. It's a defensive unit. It's your house. You cannot get away with saying things like that. And bath time has disappeared now, so it's just me on my own, and I can't see the comments. So keep them coming, guys. But really and truly, we have to put responsibility on Martinez, the smallest man there. He was isolated and he was picked out by a good striker saying, I'm going to peel off to this guy because he's the weakest man. And if the ball does fortunately come across, which it did, which is fortunate, then it's easy pickings. You know, that's how it turned out for me. So keep your comments coming in, guys, about whose fault you thought it was or who takes responsibility for that. But for me, that goal is down to one man alone, you know. Is there a question mark about the keeper? Should the keeper, if a ball's coming over that sort of area, should the keeper be coming out to the 6-yard box and claiming something as well? You know, that should be more of a conversation for me than actually Maguire, who was positioned ideal for a ball coming across like that, in my opinion. So Martinez definitely, I have to look at it again, but maybe the keeper, for me, if anything, in the 6-yard box, unless you come out and clear or punch or do something about. And so maybe there's a question mark about the keeper as well. But for me, there's only one little short guy. What do you call him, Muttley, or what do you call him, Bath type?
I called him a gopher, but
Gopher. That's
quite
it.
like Muttley from. Is that
Yeah.
from Wacky Races?
Yeah, Wacky Races. Yeah, Dick Dastardly.
Have you just been arguing about?
Can't see any comments, so I can't see anything. But I've just been.
All right. Well, I mean, got Tyrone saying, "I'm sorry, Yabba. Maguire was shocking tonight." Ugh. But the Sando didn't help him. Apart from his passing, he offers no defensive solidity. He gets beat in the air every single time.
He's talking about Martinez.
I mean, he's talking about Maguire.
No, he's not. He's saying Martinez gets beat in the air. Surely not.
He said,
I'm sorry, Maguire was shocking tonight, but Martinez didn't help him. Apart from his passing, talking about Martinez passing, he offers no defensive solidity. He gets beaten here all the time. Surely he's not talking about Maguire. And sorry, can I just ask Tyron, explain in detail what is shocking about Maguire?
He was talking about Martinez.
Okay.
Right.
How can how can someone say, if you're going to say something, say why it's shocking? What did he do wrong? Because it seems like anyone wants to get on Maguire's case. You talk about racism or something, but this is prejudice against a Sheffield Steel guy who's tries his heart out. The only one who's really trying for the team. Shocking how? In what way? That's what I'd love to know. That's what the conversation's about. If you're going to say something like that, which is shocking, outrageous, terrible, how? Because I didn't see shocking. I saw guys trying. If he wasn't there, we'd be having issues.
I mean, the other thing that is very poor for me, which no one has really spoken about, is the midfielders. Like, certainly with Joe Linton getting that run on, he should be being trapped from midfield by Casemiro.
All the way.
Like, that's dreadful as well. But I think that the big issue is that we can argue about Maguire's positioning and all these sort of different things. I'm of the opinion that the positioning is okay and stuff, but what isn't okay, and you all know what I'm going to say. It's the physical flaw of the football club. It's not even a flaw. It's like, I'm trying to remember what they're called in that Jules Verne book where he goes back in time and people have been living underground for 10,000 years. That's what they're like. They're like the bloody goblins in The Hobbit.
Or Gulliver's Travels, where he ends up in Lilliput and they're all tiny and small pushovers.
Yeah, good. Very nice, Jonathan Swift. I look around our team and I think that we've got a massive second ball problem. Obviously, when you're playing against players like Joel Linton, it becomes very apparent because he's like a bumper car. Like, people are just bouncing off him all the time. We can't deal with the physicality. But I think for our goals, a lot of the time, like, you need to... I think for Joel Linton's goal, when I rewatched it, I looked at Maguire and I looked at DIDNT, and they both basically had kind of stopped their man getting a run on. But Martinez, he just can't deal with Joel Linton. He's too powerful. He's too strong. And you look all over the pitch. Like, Amad Diallo, he wins a lot of 50-50s. He got eaten alive by Gordon tonight with the work rate. Like, Mazraoui struggled against Gordon as well. And it's because they run and they work and stuff. And our only physical competitor, I think, is Maguire, because he can win headers in the air. Like, DIDNT, I know a lot of people like DIDNT. I feel that he just has okay games. I haven't seen him dominate anyone yet. I might be being unfair. Yoro looks all right to me. Like, I think, a couple of years he'll be a good player. But all this arguing about, like, Maguire and stuff, it's like, if you could get someone out of the team, would you take Maguire out or would you take Lisandro Martinez out? I know who I am taking out.
So once again, we talk about the second goal. I know Ericsson let Joe Linton go, and kind of
was it Ericsson?
It was Ericsson, yeah.
Okay.
Let him go, and he ran into the box. And I think by then there should be some sort of saying, look, pass him off. Big man's coming, you can't miss him. But Martinez completely got, moved up, embarrassed. And I think all across Brazil, there's a great rivalry between Brazil and Argentina, and that'd be a one-up for Brazil to say, look at this, completely crushed this guy. To me, as you know, you're a sportsman, Darius. That to me is like they would be laughing about that in the changing room. The Newcastle players, we say, look at the way you completely. What's the wording with you? You smashed him, you demolished him. You know, that's the kind of wording you would use for that, because you couldn't get a run on him. The guy's run into the box, into your zone, your house, and just said, thank you very much. Move out of the way, coming through, bam. And what are you going to do about it? Once again, nothing you could do about it. The so-called butcher. Like a blunt knife, just ain't cutting, just talking loud and saying nothing. That's talk about Martinez again. James Brown.
All right, let's do some comments. We'll start with Bart. He's retooled Joe Linton from striker to a midfielder. Does Xerxes have the skill set to play in another outfield position for a Premier League team? But I don't think so, personally. Andrew is a bit meh on DIDNT. I think that's actually how I kind of feel. He's not great. He's not bad. He's got a good attitude. Right, V, what are you saying here? Maguire does win headers in the air, but the football is on the ground in the Premier League most of the time. And on the ground, Maguire is poor. Jesus Christ. Okay. Martinez. I don't know what I don't know what to say, Yabba. It's like someone asking me that 1 and 1 equals 6 or something. Yeah, Martinez would get rid of. Will Harry make it a 4th? You can't deny him. He's hunting the record books. He's on a mission, the fool. This is about getting teams relegated. Because he got one with England as well, didn't he? Didn't DIDNT dominate someone versus Southampton? He scored the header from a corner, which was nice. But I've never seen DIDNT do a job on someone, to be honest, and really shut them down. He's got an awesome pedigree. He's played for a lot of very good clubs, but he's on his 9th manager in 7 years, and that concerns me. Simon, hello, Simon. I bet Bruno now regrets getting the red in the previous match too. I hope that you're being honest about that and not. Yeah, I don't know. We're conceding headed goals for fun, yet none of it is our main header's fault. Milenkovic of Forest is an absolute beast. He was available on cheap this summer, and he's made a world of difference at Forest. There's another one there at Forest, I like Danilio or someone, Murillo. Yeah, like him. Now, this is something, Mitesh, that we'll get onto when we finish the comments. I think you're right here. I think in almost every game this season, Martinez has been the main problem for the goals. Matthias de Ligt is world class. Love him. I think Rich Sports is live. You might that might be more your level, to be honest, if this is what you want to do. But I want to get back to what Mitesh said here. I think it's time to play 2 wingers in the wing-back positions. I couldn't agree more, Yabba. I think that having defensive, less technical, less attack-minded players means that we have very sterile possession. We're passing it out for, we're going down that U shape and things. I'm okay with having one. I like Delo as a kind of runner outlet one, getting up and down. But I think that Ahmad has been appalling. Sorry, that's too much. I think Ahmad hasn't been very good, in the number 10 position all season. And I think he's shown that he's he's all right at like wing back for the moment. I think we've got to stick him back there, like, or maybe even put Anthony, to be honest, in that position, and have Delo and Mazraoui fight it out somewhere else, because there's not enough. There's just not enough out there in wide areas.
Yeah, so basically we're saying here we're not getting enough in the wide areas. That was evident again today. We're not scoring enough goals for starters. I think if you do have better quality players in those positions where you're getting space and you should be able to provide something with the use that space, you need someone who's like a former winger, or like Diallo was doing, performed impressively there. There's an ego thing for a winger to drop back and do a job like that. You have to do it for the team. No, I don't think anyone, like when you're looking at Garnacho, Rashford, these players, are they prepared to do that sort of job? And the bottom line for me is this: it's not about being a good defender, because no one tackles anymore. It's just about getting yourself back in shape and simply following instruction. So you stand up with a guy, that's not just tackling or defending properly. You can run with a guy, just stand him up. That's all you need to do. If you get beaten, no one's going to really, be on your case that much, as long as you're there with him, there and thereabouts, and come and say, we haven't got the ball, go focus, I might be a winger, I'm giving the ball away, let me get, what do I have to do? Get back in shape, and then if they're attacking, at least I've got the numbers. I've got someone there who's behind the ball, in position, and players will turn back, as you see, turn back and start again, and then at least you're in shape again. That's all you need to do. So all this thing about having a fullback like Diallo or Maz in those positions, yeah, great, when we're defensive, because you think they're defensive-minded players, but what's happening when we're going ahead and going forward? So someone has to have the mindset and the responsibility as a winger to say, I'll take that role and tell me what I need to do. When we haven't got the ball, I'll just get back in position and stand up with a guy. That's all I need to do. And then if we get more of the ball and we have more play, I'm going to get a lot of joy in these wide areas to do what I really came here to do, which is take people on and set things up in the final third. So I think that's crucial going forward now. We need to stop these two defensive-minded players, and like you said, Darius, at least bring one sort of winger, so-called winger, who's going to be prepared to do that job.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like one facet of modern football that I think that like we have to recruit for is that you hear a lot of people talking about like positional football, but it's essentially just about zones, and you want as many zones covered as possible, and that means that you need players that can win 1v1s, like whether that's an attacking duel or a defensive duel or outrunning their man and all these different things. And I think that is why he's going for Mazraoui and Delo, because they are like they're two of our better athletes in the team, and they're able to sort of give that they're able to operate better with like wider zones, as it were. So we open the pitch up more in attack, and they can get back in defence. But we're not, Rasmus's hold-up play is such an issue to this team. Casemiro like losing the ball the whole bloody time. Ugarte isn't good enough on the ball to play this wide. I think that we've kind of got to get more horizontally compact, and just get like Diallo or like Anthony out in that position and allow them to lose the ball. Because this is always the big problem with Bruno, is because of the zonal system we play and that we like to spread out across the pitch. When he loses the ball with one of those silly passes, our players aren't good enough, like 1v1, to deal with it. And tonight you saw Joel Linton illustrate that perfectly by doing it. And so I wonder if we can't like play Ahmad at right wing back, because I think he wants to play him there, but because we had like Eriksen and Casemiro, there's no way that you could play him at right wing back to sort of get up and down and cover them.
So do you remember the discussion we had the other day about it's coming up to the January transfer window? What would be the manager's most important position be? I said a wing back or full that position. You said midfield. It's interesting that, because you mentioned both positions there, like we're having to go with like a combined age of 74 or something today, or 64. 68 or whatever it is between Eriksen and Casemiro, was that the issue, or was it the two defensive wing backs? I think a wing back's more essential than the midfielders. I said that the other day, but you guys made a great case for why a midfielder would be more important.
Let's just get both of them. Why not? Like, easy.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's do some comments.
Why are you doing that? Sorry, I just need to charge my phone because I'm really low on battery. Just bear with me.
All right. Andrew is saying Leach was a poor choice of captain. I agree. Oh no, Liverpool. Right, we'll worry about Liverpool later, Simon. Mr. B, shout out to Mr. B. I haven't watched the highlights of the watch along yet, but I can imagine them. I think each of United's 9 goals came when a winger was at wing back. Yeah, I think that's something that has been going on. Bath time, that was harsh on V. Guess we all can't be you. Yes, very true, Jeff. I think it was, I was extremely harsh when he's accusing people in our chat of being racist and talking a load of bollocks. I agree. Salah is going to destroy Martinez. Oh, yeah. Right, good stuff, Mitesh. I'm pretty much with you on this as well. I think that Mazraoui has to be seen as a centre-back now. And I would love to see Ethan Wheatley be given a chance because I don't understand. Like, I mean, Rasmus was okay in patches tonight. Like, it still wasn't anywhere near the level that you'd expect. But you can see that there's little improvements here and there. He should have scored that goal, though. Yeah, Casemiro and Højlund. Like, I mean, Casemiro's was an absolute sit. Do you see that shot he did, Yabba, Casemiro, where like he just took a wild shot in the first half?
Yeah, Kobe rolled him in. And,
no, like not that. It was another one. It was just on the edge of the box, and he like managed to hit it into the BBC centre, like over the river.
I can't recall that, but yeah, I can imagine.
All right, Stuart, bring on the Scousers. Yeah, are you going to Anfield away, Stuart? Worst United team since the mid '80s.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I bet Maguire and Højlund are flat earthers. Maybe that's why you love Maguire so much, Yabba. Praise some of the Newcastle better players tonight. Yeah, look at one thing I thought was really interesting was how often we started catching Isak offside towards the like in the second half. Like, I don't know if we were doing that very, very well, or he wasn't tight, or if he just switched off a bit and didn't time his runs, because he was incredible for 25 minutes, and then I felt he tailed off a little bit in terms of like kind of actual goal scoring threat. Whereas Gordon, man, he's such a good player. Like, I really liked him. Lucky Singh is buying people. It's Matty McMatface. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well. I agree with everyone saying the squad is not good enough. Biggest regret is letting the rat in rather than SJ taking full ownership. So Jim taking full ownership, he'd have overspent. Oh, he means Sheikh Jazim. Like, okay. I'm not even sure he exists, Matty McMatface. Yeah. We got Chat Sport. Good evening. Just play every defender against Liverpool. I think Ollie did that once. Formation change incoming. Oi! Stuart, you were the first person I know that talked about how much they disliked Xerxes after Southampton away. Don't think we've forgotten that. You said that he wasn't a Manchester United striker. He wasn't for me. Like, I remember that.
Stuart.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to Anfield if you paid me.
I love Stuart. It's so funny.
Yeah. He should go if the formation changes, play it and get players that fit. Or just get fit players, to be honest. Like, I'd never boo a player off the pitch. I would. Like, I just think it's fun, Stuart. I like living in a country where you can it's absolutely fine to be politicians and players and millionaires, and it's easy as well. I think it's a great thing about living in the United Kingdom is you can go and do this kind of stuff because yeah.
But what do you think the issue is here? The drop off, because like we're losing games, the confidence is going from us. We weren't. I know we had some bad results in the last few years, but it was never this bad. I mean, is it the changes that players can't handle? I mean, what's your theory? Do you have a conspiracy or some sort of thought pattern as to why, when you're getting on a losing run, it's just continuing like this to the point where we're in a form that we haven't been in under any other manager? I'm not saying it's the manager, but something's happened to the players, and the morale must. I don't know. Is it just the quality? I mean, are these players really not that good enough?
Yeah,
that they were 8th last year.
It's 100% the quality.
Yeah,
like I know that like people like laugh at players like McFred and stuff like that because they didn't have like the obvious quality and things, but they allowed a platform for like things to happen. And what's happened is we have recruited mid-table players at best at ridiculous prices. We've spent 660 million. I looked at the team the other day. I don't know if you saw it because I put it in the group chat. The team that played when Ragnick made his comments about open heart surgery, Matic and Pogba in the midfield. Like that's an all right midfield. Alanga was in that team. You had Phil Jones, Maguire, Lindelof. They're all better than a lot of these players. And like, I mean, like V is saying, by the end of the season, Bath-Time will love DIDNT. I think DIDNT looks to me to be a very average mid-table centre-back. Like, and that's the thing, is that we boost our players all the time. You look at Ugarte, I don't think that Ugarte is as good as Fred was. Fred could score goals and he could do stuff in the final third. He could affect games.
Like, the manager said, I saw a quote, that we didn't have a base to build from. And I think this is what you're talking about here. A base to build from is players like McTominay and Fred, who you won't get exposed for getting walked over as we were in the first 25 minutes. That base would be, we go out there, we battle them, and then that's the base we build from, where we can start getting into the game and not get moved up the way we did. I think that's what he was referring to. We haven't got that. So when you say base to build from, so is it defenders you're talking about? Is it the midfield? I just think the base to build from is a player or a few players out there who are out for war, who can battle with these guys, not get moved up, and not allow that. I was watching the goal they scored where they played the 1-2 Tarnelli with Joe Lilton or whatever, and I was thinking, bro, Roy Keane would have, even though he'd be busted the gut, he would
have kittens.
No way. I'm not having this, you know, and he'd be dragging people. That's the base, is the attitude of players, and having players out there with the pride to say, like you said earlier, I find it really funny what you said. You said Bath-Time, you don't get 1-2s in midfields in the Premiership, you know, but they had a blatant one there where it's just too easy, you know, to walk through us. And that's what I think the manager's referring to, what you're talking about, having the base of players like a McTominay, like a Roy Keane, like a Harry Maguire, who's going to say, first rule is we go out there and give 110% and win our physical battles, and then that's the base we build on to show our qualities after that. And when you don't win those battles off in the beginning, that's what I think the manager means by that quote.
You need physicality, because the thing is, right, why isn't Ronaldinho still playing football? Because he's not physical. Because you get too old, your legs go, you're not able to execute actions quickly. You know, you all know this. Like, you get too old to play football, but that's because football is a physical game at its heart. That's the first thing about it. Is you need to be athletic to play football, and for some reason, we have not prioritized athletes at Manchester United for a very, very long time. Anthony Elanga was a superb athlete, right? And all right, if you didn't like him, that's fine, but he's a better athlete than anyone in the squad. Like, McTominay was an amazing athlete. Like, you need these players in your team to deal with Joel Lintons, to deal with second balls, because you can't always pass out from the back. You're going to play against teams that are good at pressing, and that one of your centre-backs doesn't make a great pass. United have signed a theoretical football team. where they never make a mistake.
Bruv,
And
spot on. That's good.
And the thing is, right, is that as a fan base, we are like, look at Garnacho, decent young player, definitely needs to learn more. He plays because he's above average, like pace and fitness and availability. He plays all the time, and he's not really developing as a footballer because there's not enough competition, as it were. There's not like Delo, like a great athlete. Like, I'm happy to have him at the football club and stuff like that. Luke Shaw is a much better footballer than he is, but he can't play because he's constantly injured. We need to get in physical players and rebuild the team. Like, look at Newcastle United. Like, Joe Linton was a dreadful centre forward, but he competes in the midfield. He knocks people about. He gets stuck in. And when people say, "Oh, you need to like keep the ball on the ground, play football and stuff," it always reminds me of that Mike Tyson quote: "Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face." And it's like, there was a team, I don't know how old our audience is, there was a team like 30 years ago called Wimbledon, and they basically stayed in the Premier League by assaulting people. Like Ben Thatcher, the Crazy Gang, I know, like all these things. And because football is a physical game, and you've got to stop worrying about ballers and people that look pretty on the ball. You get people like Jadon Sancho into a team that has a base, and you go from there.
Yeah, exactly that. Looking at I love Brazilian legends and players like that. They have a guy, is it Bruno Guimarães?
Yes.
Yeah. He's playing in the Premier League. He looks really good player. He's Brazilian, but he's hard as nails. Strong, tough. You rarely see him getting pushed off the ball and that kind of thing because he's got something about him. So that's the new Brazilian ideal player, someone who's got that natural samba feet, but can also be physical enough to compete in a league like this. Like you said there, man, you can't afford to, like David Silva was fantastic in the Premier League for Man City, but he was surrounded by big players like Yaya Toure and big players in the midfield who could protect him, so you can afford to get away with that. But that's the base you need to let a player flourish like that. And we've got too many players like Garnacho, like Anthony, who, and looking in the midfield now, Eriksen, Casemiro, too old, for example. Even Kobe's a bit of criticism about him, but he needs that base to get to a side where the base is already there. And then you'll see that his qualities come through. We can't afford to do that at the moment because, like, the manager's quote was brilliant. I think that is the issue. I listen to the manager because I think he's full of pearls of wisdom. And that was another good one as well, because I'm trying to ask you.
Andrew hates the manager because he says what I say, which is that it's about, you've got to get the physical up.
Yeah.
I just want to do some comments before we run away with ourselves. Matty McMattface, I know that Bath time understands football really well. I understand it okay, Matty. I mean, for YouTube, yes, I understand it very well. But what would my team talk be? I'd tell the players that they're not good enough to play anything but a mid-block system, because they're not. Like, I remember one of Ollie's big things is that he knew the players weren't good enough to play high-pressing football, but he kind of gave in and tried to let them play it, and it was the end of him. Is that you've got to tell the team that they're not good enough as footballers. They're not good enough as athletes to play the way they think they can play. People like Casemiro and Eriksen were profiting off the hard work of other people. So Gary Neville said tonight, they're both great players, but they'll hate to play with each other. And that's the point, is that these are like cherries that you have on top of your cake. We don't have any cake. We're Manchester United, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but exactly. That's the thing, Simon, is that we're staring relegation in the face. The Roman Empire crumbled. Empires crumble when you don't look after them and you let them eat themselves. And the thing is that we don't have any money. We've recruited poorly. We've got ourselves in this position, and we did it because we looked at people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and said that they're not good enough, and that the team they built wasn't good enough. And you would kill for that team now that went unbeaten away from home. You'd kill for it. And all of you called him all of you said that he was a fraud. He was great. Keane would have absolutely clattered Joel Linton in the midfield and stopped him from running anywhere. Do you know what Keane would have done, POTUS? Is Keane was a world-class athlete as well as being a world-class footballer. He'd have made it hard for Joel Linton by bombing up and down, by controlling a football, by winning the 1v1s and things. He wasn't just, he would have battered him. He would have gone and duffed him up a few times. But he would have also imposed his physicality on Joel Linton. That was the difference between Roy Keane and Steven Gerrard. Gerrard used to pick the weakest player on the team and stick on them so that he could outpace them and stuff. Keane used to go looking for Vieiras, because that's where the heart of the battle was. Fans didn't want those players like Fred, but forgot that Fletcher was as important as Ronaldo in Fergie's time. Or, Park Ji-sung, please give me my little Korean atom back again. Fred could not, for the life of him, cope with the press. Let's not rewrite history. You want physicality, we want Fred back. What I'm saying is that Fred is a better player than Ugarte was so far, because Fred could do stuff in the final third. And I think that you'd get similar stuff from Fred that you would with Ugarte. Fred finished higher multiple times. Fred had us as a Champions League club. I wasn't his biggest player, but you have to look at why we were so much better then. And a lot of it was down because we had Fred and McTominay just running about everywhere. And now we've got Casemiro and Eriksen, who were both far better technical players, and we're about, we're getting relegated. Yes, Anana. Let's go to the bottom. Bath Town would be much better than my psychiatrist. We will not get relegated. Please don't tempt the footballing god, Stuart. Please don't tempt them. Can you imagine, right? If we actually got put in the relegation zone, finished there, but we stayed up because City got relegated for fiddling the books. Would you take that?
Don't even say it. Don't even tempt it.
Love Bath Time, praising Ollie, sense being spoken. Thank you, Will. I don't know if you've been around for a long time, but I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I thought that team was a lot better than anyone made out. We were finishing second and third and things like that, and people were whinging about it. We just needed a DM. All right, good man. Stuart Marshall would take that. What a situation. Ollie was our best manager since Fergie. I liked Jose as well, to be honest. I think Jose came in at the wrong time, though. Ollie fostered the worst dressing room in the club's history. It's an interesting argument. Do you think the root of the problems, Andrew, come from Ollie's tenure at the foot, allowing Pogba's and Martial's and Rashford's, Lingard's, Dan James, all that kind of stuff? Do you think that's where the cancer, let's say, started? Interesting idea. Ollie's team was quality, yeah. Ollie's team was terrible. All right, I think that's enough there. Right, Yabba, what have you got on tomorrow?
I'm working till 8 o'clock, and that means I won't be going out partying. I'm going to go to my missus and spend the new year, see the new year with her. Yeah,
read a couple of books.
Yeah,
fun time. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing a show. I don't like New Year's Eve, to be honest.
Why not?
Organised fun.
Organised.
Yeah, it's too much of a routine. Everyone sort of counting down and shouting Happy New Year and stuff. It's too. too formulaic for my liking. There's not enough.
Can I ask you? Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yes, I'd like to leave this channel. Hopefully, I'll do something like I want to do some writing with Tyrone.
Okay.
That'll be fun. At some point, maybe bring the eye test back, but I can't be bothered, to be honest, and no one really appreciates it. But no real New Year's resolutions. Continue to try and live my life with as much discipline as possible. What's yours going to be? Turning up on time?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was a bit. No one sent me the link until 2 minutes to go today. But yeah, New Year's resolution. I think like the same thing again. I think I need to focus on, relationships with people. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect too much from people, only the close ones. So don't really focus too much on relationships. Be humble, continue to be humble. I'm going to try and get myself disciplined and more fit. So I'm on a mission to get myself fit again and healthy and playing football properly again. I want to be able to have good 2 more seasons at least where I'm competitive and, really confident that I can do something. And regarding the agenda, I just enjoy it so much. I just think, obviously, we're not winning at the moment, but it's great to come on and talk football with you guys. Love Mr. B, love Bartha, Dora, all you guys are great. And obviously, the guys in the comments as well. We really get a lot out of this. Well, I do at least. I really enjoy talking football every night with you guys. And I wish you all a happy new year, prosperous new year. And be appreciative of every day that we have out here, even if we're losing 2-0 at home. Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're doing a show tomorrow. It depends on Mr. B, to be honest, but there's a possibility we could. But if we don't, we'd like to wish you all a very, very happy new year. Thank you for all of your comments and so on. And I'm sure the lads will stop me deleting the channel in between now and our next show.
Okay.
And look, just to finish, Andrew said something nice to you. I think actually my New Year's resolution is I'm going to stop people like talking to you in a certain way because too many people are calling you an idiot, and I think
me?
Yeah,
it's funny. That's what I mean. I'm not. It's great. I don't mind what people say about it. This is what when we talk football, everyone's got different opinions and everything like that. So I don't take it to heart. And I think people know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that to Mr. B. Because it's not.
I just like good manners, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching, and we will see you next year, I imagine. Sorry, lack a notch.
Lack a notch from me.
Lack a notch from me.